Okay, welcome to my boxing journey. I'm here in Valrico, Florida, being taught under the former Russian Olympic head coach, Vlad. And today is the start of month 3, year 1. I'm a quarter in another year here with Coach Vlad. Today was phenomenal. We started off with the jump roping, and then we did some multitasking with the tennis ball, which was completely mind-blowing to my brain. To even get to the point of accomplishing the task was absolutely phenomenal. The multitasking awareness you have to throw a ball up and bounce the other ball in the other hand was a phenomenal feeling, and I'm going to make sure I practice that as much as I can with my own tennis balls at home, because that was so mentally stimulating. It gave the effect of juggling, but to a whole nother level. And then after that, we got onto the bag, really testing our endurance, giving us a few tasks of going in on the bag lightly, spinning around, going back to the bag, punching the bag as hard as you can, really disorienting you, but pushing your limits nonetheless, which I absolutely love the mental stimulation. Today was honestly a mental stimulating day. And then after that, we further hardened and sharpened our endurance skill by going on to the water bag, giving real world effort on the bag for a certain amount of time. We did 10 seconds, we did 20 seconds, we did 40 seconds, we did a minute, non-stop, supposed to give your all. The first couple of rounds was much easier. However, as you get on to the higher numbers, that 1 minute felt like an absolute eternity, especially after the round you were just taking part in. However, we have done this exercise previously and it was extremely more challenging. I felt as though, honestly, I was at the same stamina rate, but my combos were a little better. I was more confident with what I was doing with the bag. And I also noticed how much awareness I really didn't have per se with my attacks. I understood where I was in certain moments, but when I started to fatigue and I was really just pushing myself, I seen how much of my technique went down the door in real time. However, trying to push myself to that limit and be mentally aware of what I'm doing and practicing my technique diminished. So I was able to kind of tone my effort down, even though it wasn't where you would really want it to be in the ring, but to capitalize on technique. So it's quite fascinating to see my mind be able to see in real time where my technique is lacking. So hopefully that translates in the ring, where once I start to get tired, I start to lower my standards in other places to up it in other locations of what I might need to do. So if I'm getting really tired, maybe my body will understand, okay, I'm tired, I need to shell into defense properly instead of trying to work on attacking so much, reset, and then get back into a proper defense. Hopefully that's the goal. Honestly, I'm still learning. This is real-time knowledge. I'm getting back feedback right now as I speak, honestly, which is honestly really why I do these videos, more for myself, of tracking my journey, seeing my progress. I actually just watched my videos from the previous months the other day. I was like, wow, even though it's been once a month and I know it, but I'm one to really not see my own progress. I actually watched the videos of that. I was like, wow, you're progressing, bro. Good job. Nonetheless, I'm super proud of being able to be trained and taught under the absolute best in the boxing business here in Valrico, Florida. I'll see you next week to see what we work on and how much progress I'm making. Let's go. Okay, we just wrapped up another phenomenal week here with Coach Vlad. Today, we actually headed outside, which if you're in Florida, you know it is getting a little chillier. However, if you allow your body to adapt, this is almost pristine weather, because during the summer, that sun can be just a tad bit, a lot more conditioning than a body can take. Because I don't want to say it's a bad thing, because it definitely puts your body under a tremendous more amount of stress. However, where is the limit of death and self-proclaiming shit of the strongest version of yourself? However, getting back to the point, today was an absolute phenomenal day to be outside. We did a lot of cardio, running several laps, doing shadow work. Then we went and got to a step. We started to do jumping up and down the step. We have done this previous, if you want to check back to previous videos when we are outside. Fairly similar, however, non-stop. Then we went forward and backward with proper footwork, throwing in our ones and twos as well. Really just non-stop cardio. And I have been taking cardio up on myself, running 3 miles, a 5K. Actually, I've ran 2 to 3 this week. So today felt phenomenal. I was able to push myself so much further. I was able to see the progress in real time. Although I am extremely exhausted, because if you know me, you know I will always push myself to exhaustion. I can see the progress. So even though I'm still exhausted, it doesn't feel like it's any easier. I can see that exhaustion level is at least performing better. So after that, we went ahead and came inside to continue that work. We continued the cardiovascular system non-stop, getting to the bag, doing several exercises. It was a circuit of 4 with 10-second burst, 10-second breaks, non-stop. That was phenomenal. I was able to pick it up towards the end of the endeavor, which was fascinating to see, because although I've just done a complete workout outside and inside, I'm able to absolutely give my all, even though I felt like I was on the brink of death. To give my all, see myself have decent combinations is definitely worth highlighting. I always want to pat myself on the back for even the smallest bit of improvement, because it is still a challenge to get over the voice inside of your head, to do a new hobby that you want to do anyway, but since it's not instilled in you yet, you can find every excuse not to do it. This is why I encourage anybody to pick up any habit that they want to choose and do it wisely through mental manipulation, baby steps. You want to read a book, you read 1 page. However, I'm getting off topic. I just am so passionate about following your passions, as you can tell. I'm super proud and blessed to be continuously learning here. We're going to see you next week to see what we've continuously learned and how the progress is looking. Okay, today was an absolutely phenomenal day here with Coach Vlad. We did a very short but very high intensive workout going around a 12-round circuit. Body weight, minimum weight, high repetition, longevity, 3 minutes, last 30 seconds. Give it your all. I am super proud of myself because throughout this entire circuit, I went through it, giving it my absolute all. I was battling my mind almost the entire time. And although I was battling my mind the entire time, I still knew there was more that could be pushed. But just to see how much capacity I'm able to handle mentally to push myself is a phenomenal feeling. And then to be able to somewhat keep up on the physical level as well, because you can tell yourself to continuously push and push and push, but if your muscles aren't able to follow through, no matter how much you try to push yourself, it will not work. And to see myself be able to have that nice balance is a beautiful meditative experience. I look forward to the final week of this month to see how much more progress can be made. See you next week. Okay, what an absolute phenomenal way to end the month here with Coach Vlad. Last week, I did miss because they were out competing. So this is the week after that. However, within the 4-week span, we did phenomenal. We went around the circle following coach's cues, which I absolutely love, because these are the fundamentals you need to boxing. As boring, as tedious, as familiar as these exercises may seem, you need to do these a million times and everything else boxing will make sense. So this is exactly why I love Coach Vlad. He understands the human psychology at the core of what it is and how to breed overall athletes that will be soon shaped into boxers. And then after that, we went ahead and got with a partner, working on some cues, working on some shadow boxing, but with a partner, which is phenomenal, because as much shadow work you do with yourself, there is no comparing with someone in front of you, moving at their own pace, having their own cues. So it's nice to have that 3D in reality transfer of information right in front of you. And then right after that, we went ahead and utilized everything we learned today into the ring, which was a phenomenal feeling for me, because I haven't been in the ring for quite some time. So as much work as I'm putting in, you really have no idea how effective it is when it comes to facing an opponent. So getting into the ring today, I felt so much more confident than I've ever felt in the ring, simply because there was no rush to accomplish anything. I am simply here, I am simply present, allowing time to pass and find out what can be made of this situation. What I do want to highlight is I'm slightly difficult, I should say, about the stamina, because I wasn't able to bounce as much as I wanted to, although my composure was kept quite ideally. I would love to have that same level of composure under bouncier circumstances. And I don't want to blame my shoes, but shoes could be a circumstances because they're scraping my feet a little bit when I try to bounce, so it's more comfortable standing still. So I'm gonna get a pair of shoes soon, and if that's not the excuse, then we know it's my cardio, which I already know is my cardio, but I want to really know how much is cardio and how much is shoes, because I've been working quite some time now. However, getting back to the positives, I was so much more confident, understanding how that my combinations out of a combo can be made simply by allowing the combo of the opponent to try to develop. And that comes from not being in your head, from fear, not being anxious of worrying about what you're doing, what they're doing. Simply just allow things to happen. And with that was a lot of nice defense and a lot of combos out of that. I do want to work on my offense a little bit. I want to be more deceiving, but that also comes from being bouncier. I did notice when I tried to make some combos with just arms, it wasn't even believable for myself, and I'm the one attempting to make it believable. So I definitely want to figure out how to fix that. However, I'm super proud of the progress. Going 3 rounds, not really feeling extreme exhaustion. I was tired, more on the fatigue side, but I definitely could have gone a few more rounds. So that shows I have so much more in the tank and progress overall being made. I'm super proud and happy to be continuously learning from the absolute best in boxing. This is such a blessing to be here. And if you are taking nothing from this journey, whether you want to be a boxer or you just want to pick up a new hobby once a week, you can see firsthand how far taking a little bit of time out of your day into something that you simply enjoy, not because it's paying you, not because someone forces you to do it, not because the expectations of the society of your culture is telling you that it is socially acceptable, simply because you enjoy doing it, how far you can go within that realm if you just dedicate a little bit of time, consistency, and discipline. You can genuinely be anything, anyone you want. You can create your reality. It is always in your hands, and it's from the thoughts you think, the environments you allow yourself to be in, and the actions you take. So choose those wisely, and you will see firsthand the reality you create. Thank you so much for spending your time here, following along with me, attempting to chase my pursuit of happiness and pour into all of those around me to experience the same level of happiness and contentment. Enjoy the rest of your journey. Keep living this beautiful life.
Open it back. I forgot the green part. But we have to go. Actually,
Nice, Robbie. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready? Box. Drop your hands.
Nice job, boys. Very nice job.